Hello everybody, and welcome back to All the Mods 10. In the previous episode, we got started with the Easy Villagers mod, and now we have an array of villagers at our disposal. The most important of which now has the Mending enchantment, and in between episodes I did actually manage to get a Fortune 1 book on one of these librarians. And so now I do have a Fortune 3 Unbreaking 3 Mending Diamond Pickaxe, which is definitely going to be very useful. The iron farm has also been running in the background, and we already have 3,000 iron. Not too bad. In between episodes, I did also take the tunnel bore for a little bit of a spin underground, and now we are completely chock full of resources. So we have 217 diamonds, we have plenty of gold, which I still need to go through and smelt most of it. And of course I didn't get too much iron, but again, we have an iron farm now. We don't really need too much iron. And we do have some extra resources here that are still being smelted down. So what I want to do in today's episode is actually get started with our first magic mod. And that mod is going to be Iron Spells. This is a mod that I've actually never touched before, so this is definitely going to be a new experience for me. But if you're as excited as I am to get started on a new mod, why not hit the like button and subscribe? It helps the channel out a ton and lets me know that you guys are interested in the content as well. If you want to go one step further, why not consider becoming a channel member? It's the best way to support me directly, and you get access to all of my videos early. With all that out of the way, let's get started on Iron's spells. Fortunately for us, All the Mods 10 does have a mod page, or a quest book I should say, for Iron spells, so we can go ahead and sort of look through what we need to actually find here. Now I believe to start off we are going to need the inscription table as well as the scroll forge. And we might as well get the Alchemist Cauldron as well. But I think before we actually get into the mod and building all of the items that we're going to need for it, I think we need a new place to actually work on spells. So I'm thinking that I actually want to build some sort of wizard's tower out in this sort of magic, I guess, forest that we have here. The Enchanted Tangle, according to the biome. So yeah, I think I'm going to look around a little bit. I do want to keep it close to the rest of my builds, but I also kind of want it a little bit isolated away from everything else. And I might do it right here on the edge of the water. Alright, and after a few hours of grinding, I would say the Wizard's Tower is done. Admittedly, I did go a little bit hard on the design here. I think I spent a little bit too much time actually designing it. I used tuff for the majority of the more stony bits, and then I used ironwood for this sort of section here, as well as the floors that are inside. And then I just used the local, I think they're called blue enchanted logs and planks for the roof parts. There are two different sort of roof sections on this build. I was originally just going to build it at about that height, and then just do one single roof, but it felt a little bit short. You could barely see it over the trees, so I added a section on top and then just expanded the roof from there. And I think it turned out really good. From the inside of the build, it does look a little bit smaller. This sort of basic interior section still needs some work as well. But as we go on, we'll keep on decorating and expanding it. I want to add a railing here, and I also want to use the elevator block from the elevator mod in order to actually get to each of the different levels. But we are going to need ender pearls for that, and I haven't actually even fought an enderman, let alone got an ender pearl, so it might be a while before we get to that. And a creeper blew up here, and I ran out of ironwood, so these parts are going to be see-through for just a little while I go and find some more ironwood trees. But yeah, if I look up into the roof, you can tell that this area is definitely the vast majority of the build. So my sort of design and inspiration for this build is that it's an ancient wizard's tower that I just so happened to come across, and I've just been sort of restoring it and digging into and researching all of the different spell tomes and spell books that that have been sort of left behind. But I do think that I'm finally ready to get started with Iron Spells mod. So to get started, we are going to need to craft the inscription table. We'll just need a few plank slabs, some fences, and a book. And I think I've gathered everything for the inscription table. And because I haven't actually used this mod before, I'm going to be going through the quest. So the inscription table is used for adding spells to a spell book. In the world, you'll find different sort of spell scrolls, and these can be added into a spell book. And I'm just going to place this inscription table somewhere inside of my wizard's tower. Later on, I will decorate this area and make it a little bit more immersive, but for now, we're just at a table reading some books. So if we go ahead and right click that, you'll see that it has its own interface. Now, in order to actually add spells to a spellbook, we are going to need to craft a spellbook. We can go for the Ironbound Tome or the Flimsy Journal for now. So I think I'm going to be starting out with the Ironbound Tome, which can just be crafted with 3 chains, 4 leather, and 2 pieces of paper. Now you can go ahead and equip your spellbook, and I'm just going to go ahead and collect some rewards from this. The problem is we just have not added any spells to our book yet. So we can go ahead and interact with the inscription table and place our book inside of there. I've found a few spell scrolls across my adventures. We have the Firefly Swarm Scroll, which is a level 6 rare spell. And then we also have the Oak Skin Scroll, which is a level 2 common spell. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can add the Oak Skin Scroll. So in order to do that, we do need to just click this little inscription button here. The spell has been added to our spellbook, so we can just go ahead and pull that back out and right click again to equip it. Now, whenever we press V, I believe it is, spell's still on cooldown because I just accidentally used it. Sorry about that. But because I did use it, we did have a little debuff there. Let me try to press V again. It's still on cooldown. So when we actually read the description for the spell, you'll notice that it does have a 1.5 minute cooldown for this spell. It does give us plus 20% damage reduction, but it does decrease our speed, and the spell will last for 23 seconds. So I've gone ahead and added the Firefly Swarm spell to our spellbook. So if we now hold down R, as long as you have the shaders reload hotkey unbound, you actually get this sort of spell wheel. This will allow you to select your different spells. So now I can go ahead and select the Firefly Swarm, and you do that just by holding left click while hovering over it. And now if we press V, the spell does require a target. Let me go find something. I think I saw a skeleton out in this direction. I'm not seeing quite where it is. Alright, I found a skeleton here. So now if I press V, you'll notice that it has been targeted with Firefly Swarm. So what the Firefly Swarm spell does is emanates a swarm of violent fireflies following a targeted creature and dealing AoE damage. That's area of effect for those that don't know. If the initial target dies, the last harmed creature will be targeted. So basically, this spell is going to be more useful when you're fighting multiple enemies at a time. So now that I have the inscription table, what I want to do is actually go out and explore some more. I want to try to find a lot more spells and fill out as many spellbooks as I can and just sort of get a general grasp of the different spells in this mod. So I haven't explored too much to the east. Right here is where we sort of spawned from in this little village up here. I'll probably go and double check some of these chests for anything that I might have missed there. And I might also run back to Corked, I think that's the name of this village here, and just double check the chests over here as well. I didn't have much inventory last time I came through here, so yeah, I think I'll go and do that. Alright, and after exploring for quite a while, my inventory is absolutely chock full of mostly random items. We got a ton of artifacts, some new spells, and one of the villages that I actually visited had a ton of cookies in it, so I think we're set on cookies for quite a while. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time actually cleaning up my inventory here, and yeah, then we'll come back and get started with adding some more spells to our spell book. So from my little adventure, this is all of the items that we found that are related to iron spells. And we have found a good amount of ink, which will actually allow us to craft new spells. By the way, we did also find the Poison Arrow Scroll, which is a level 1 common spell, as well as Poison Spray, which is also a level 1 spell. And then we also found the Guiding Bolt Scroll, which is a level 2 spell. So we can go ahead and put our spell tome back in the inscription table, and I'm gonna add the Poison Arrow spell first here. So the description of Poison Arrow says, charge a powerful arrow imbued with poison magic that will release a poisonous cloud upon impact. It costs 40 mana, has a 1-second cast time, a 15-second cooldown, and it deals 5 damage and 0.9 AoE damage. Next up, I'll add the Poison Spray spell. Here we go. Poison spray, spew forth a cone of poison, damaging and poisoning creatures in its reach. And it costs 5 mana, has a 5-second cast, that's pretty long. Duration is 12 seconds. Oh, sorry, it has no duration, but it has a 12-second cooldown and deals something 0.5 damage, 0.75 damage. I kind of wish this little AZ tab thing here wasn't there. Next up, I'll add the Guiding Bolt spell to our book. Guiding Bolt fires a slow bolt of holy energy. Creatures hit will gain the guided effect, homing nearby projectiles in towards them. It costs 25 mana. It has an instant cast, but an 8-second cooldown. Deals 3.5 damage, something 5-second effect, and length. I don't know what length is. Effect length maybe is what that means. Now I am curious to see if we can actually add multiple of the same spell to a book. It looks like we can't. Okay, that's good to know. So now I'm gonna equip my tome once again and hold down R. And you'll notice that the spell wheel here has increased with the number of spells that we have. And it is getting close to dark, I think. It is definitely raining. So I'm going to go and find some monsters to hopefully test these out on. I think I hear a spider nearby. Let's see if I can find him. Might be... Oh, there it is. Not the best place to test this out. Let's get out into the light back here. Alright, so I'm going to press V. And, okay, I did miss. But it created this sort of cloud, which, if that spider actually crawls through it, it does take additional damage. It's good to know. Alright, I'm going to swap to poison spray now and press V once again. And this is a long cast time. Nice. Alright, so that one is a continuous cast. Alright, and last up is the Guiding Bolt spell. So if I just press V, you'll notice that it has a outline around it now. I should probably eat. So any sort of projectile that I send towards it should now, in theory, sort of be guided towards it. Now that didn't... I don't think it went quite straight towards it. But that poison cloud did deal enough damage to kill that zombie. Nice. Alright, I'm gonna keep fighting off some of these guys. Oh, I'm sorry, dog. Oh. Alright, I had a little bit of a crash, and I think I'm at the spawn now, unfortunately. I'm not sure exactly what caused the crash. I'm assuming something to do with the creeper. I was looking at the crash log, and I think the target creeper was doing something weird. I don't know. And then when I logged back in, I was dead. So yeah, that's fun. Hopefully it didn't blow up my base. Well, the wizard's tower seems fine. So yeah, I'm assuming it was just the zombie that killed me, not the creeper. So what I want to do now is craft the Scroll Forge. The Scroll Forge will allow us to actually create spells rather than having to rely on finding them in the world. Unfortunately, it requires crying obsidian, and I have not found any yet. So I'll probably have to go on another adventure and try to find a ruined portal. If I can't do that, I might have better luck in the Nether. I was kind of hoping that this respawn anchor building thing here would actually have some crying obsidian. Unfortunately, it looks like it doesn't, though. Yeah, here we go. Right, basically at the beginning where my portal is, there's a little bit of crying obsidian in this. I guess these are supposed to be ruined portals as well. Alright, and that is everything that we need for the Scroll Forge. Again, I'm just going to place this temporarily down in the wizard's tower here. And now we can go ahead and right click it. So if we go ahead and take a look at the Iron Spells and Spellbooks wiki, you can see that there are 9 schools of magic. We have Fire, which requires blaze rods, Ice, which require frozen bones, Lightning, which require bottles of lightning, Holy, which require divine pearls, Blood, which require blood vials, Ender, which requires ender pearls, Evocation, which requires emeralds, Void, which requires echo shards, and Poison, which requires poisonous potatoes. So I've just gathered up our ink, some paper, as well as crafted some divine pearls. The divine pearls are just crafted with gold and amethyst, not too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and place our common ink in here. We'll also put our paper and a divine pearl. When all of our ingredients are inside of the Scroll Forge, we can actually select a variety of different spells. And we can see the description of each of the different spells. That way we know sort of what each spell is. Now, if you want to unlock the lower tier spells, or the higher tiers, I should say, we just use our different kinds of ink. So you'll see that we have the exact same spells, but we also have the addition of Heal and Sunbeam for uncommon, Greater Heal for rare, and Epic will unlock Angel Wings, Haste, and Cleanse. I think the first spell that I actually want to get is the Angel Wings spell. When we cast this spell, we gain wings made of holy energy, acting as an elytra for a brief period of time. So basically we get temporary flight for this. So I'll go ahead and grab the angel wings scroll out of the scroll forward, and I can add it in our inscription table. Nice. And just so that I'm making sure that everything is correct here, it will last for 30 seconds and it has a 2-minute cooldown. And I'm at the top of the tower now, and I'm going to go ahead and craft the spell. And you'll see in the top right corner we have an effect. Now if I just go out, you can see we have a pair of Divine Elytra selected or equipped. So now we can basically fly wherever we need to. Obviously though, it's only going to last for 30 seconds and has a 2-minute cooldown, so we just need to be aware of if it's going to run out or not. By the way, there is actually a way to upgrade our spells. If we use the Arcane Anvil, we can actually combine a scroll with some more ink, and that will actually upgrade it to the next level. Upgrading it will usually increase the effect length and reduce the cooldown, at the cost of ink, obviously, as well as more mana. By the way, I haven't really spoken about mana too much. As you can see above the hunger bar on the right, as we use a spell, we consume mana. So we are sort of limited on how much mana we're using, but honestly, so far I haven't run into any issues with it, though I'm sure as we continue our spells and making better spells, we are going to run into mana issues. All right, and as a quick little update here, I have been working on the library inside of the Wizard's Tower. This is the second floor of the building and is going to be primarily used for our inscription tables. Now, I did actually find an extra one while I was out exploring, so I just placed it in here as well. So we've got a few spots here where we can actually add spells to our spell book. So yeah, basically I've just filled this area with random bookshelves from the chipped mod. And then scattered throughout as well, we have these oak drawers for our ink. So we have our normal ink there. Let's see, I might have buried it. This one is the rare ink. This one is uncommon. And then we have epic over here. And then I think I'm just going to do the legendary one over on this side. By the way, these book stacks are also from the Iron Spells mod. They're just decorative though, but yeah, I think they look really nice and really add a nice atmosphere here. Very much lived in, as though some of the books have been pulled off of the shelf. And then I'm just using these paper lanterns from the chipped mod as well as our lighting in here. I'm not 100% sold on them. I was using these warped torches from chipped. I didn't really like those either, but yeah, maybe one of these times I'll figure out a nice lighting situation for this, but these ones look pretty good for now, especially here in the middle. Basically, I'm using them as sort of these hanging lights. And the sort of lore here is that you can actually like pull them off of the wall and take them around, take them to a desk if you need to, just for additional light while you're reading and putting spells in your books. On the first floor, I'm still working on this, but yeah, I've moved my enchanting table over here, and I just have a bunch of bookshelves surrounding it as well. But trading with the villagers is taking quite a while for actually getting books, so this might be a few episode long project. So the area where I'm gonna place my scroll forge as well as my arcane anvil is up here in this level. Now eventually I do want to put a roof on here, but for now I'm gonna build sort of a stage looking area. This will be above the actual floor itself. Something like that, maybe. All right, and this is sort of how it turned out. I used polished deep slate as a sort of border here just because the scroll forge is also kind of made with it, so I thought it matched pretty good. We do have a respawn anchor here. By the way, if you do click this in the overworld, if you right click it, it will explode, so just be careful of that. So yeah, I have more of these blue enchanted fences as sort of a decoration in the back. Same with the paper lanterns. And I went through and finished the ceiling and patched the hole in the side there. I'm not too sure what else I want in this room. I'm actually thinking of doing a different section, a different stage almost for the arcane anvil, but I'll probably make it with amethyst and maybe diamond and polished deep slate as well. And then just have it probably opposite there, and then I don't know what else I'm gonna put here on this level. Probably some more bookshelves. And then I think I want this area to be where we do our other magic mods as well. We are going to have a few more magic mods. I definitely want to do Ars Nouveau, so we'll probably put that in this section here. But I do think I'm going to end things there for today. This episode's been running on for quite a while, and yeah, it's definitely a shorter video overall. But I've put a ton of work into this this wizard's tower, so yeah, sorry for the shorter episode, but anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace.